Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Left Thumbs. My name is Graeme and I'm capping off my Riddle School anniversary series with Return to Riddle School, which is a remake of Riddle School 1 made by yours truly. You know, this was made to be a remake of Riddle School 1, but I really wanted to add to the game and flesh it out a little bit more so that people who've played the original game like 10, 20, 100 times can come to this and not breeze through it in like 30 seconds. I wanted people to have to stop and think through new puzzles while still having a sense of familiarity. And so as I play through this, I'd like to point out some of what I added and why I made certain decisions that I did. For example, in the main menu here, these are all recreations of the original photos that went along with the real Riddle School 1. This menu was actually one of the last things I did, and I did it like hours before I released the game, so it's a little bit slapped together, but I'm still overall happy with it. I don't have a special features that unlocks for beating it the way that John does, but I do have this where you can link to playing the whole series. Here's a link to Riddle Transfer 2, which came out at the same exact time, which John and I planned. And then, oh, look at this, let's play, link to my channel. You know, why not? Throw myself a bit of a bone there. So anyways, let's get into it. So this opening sequence is pretty much exactly the same as it is in Riddle School 1. I figured might as well start things off the same, and then I can get into adding my own flair to it a little bit later. Throughout this remake, I tidied up the dialogue a little bit if I felt it was unclear or whatever. Phil was one of the first things I drew, obviously, but Mr. Calm was like the second or third or something like that. And I actually took this design from a scrapped game that John had done where he was planning to remake Riddle School 1 himself. And so you can see things like the crack in the windows and the hole and outlet and the sharpener, all that stuff is still here. But if you try to go straight for the sharpener, that's it. But I can't go up there empty-handed. So if you grab your pencil, I'll take this pencil, but I refuse to take any notes. That's a new item, new bit of dialogue. You try to use the sharpener. My best bet will be to break the sharpener, maybe if I could jam it. And so there's a little piece of gum hidden under this desk here. Ew, I don't care if it was mine. I can't believe I touched that old gum. And then you go up to the sharpener, you break the pencil and the gum off in the sharpener. Hey teacher, may I sharpen my pencil please? Okay, but only one of you is allowed at a time. Now that was sharp. It's the same basic thing, I just added the tiniest little bit to it to hopefully kind of like give people who've played the game before a little bit of pause. I can't believe I just said that, classic. As you heard, the menu music is the same temple theme that John's used for all the Riddle School games, but I wanted something different for the main theme because the madness theme that John had used when this was originally going to be a madness tribute was a little overbearing and a little aggressive, so I wanted something a little more relaxed. And so Alex Shia, the guy who actually does the intro theme to this YouTube channel, whipped up this piece of music for me. You know, I actually wasn't sure about it at first, but it really grew on me. It gives a unique feel to this game. It kind of makes it a little bit more my own. It's a little bit more distanced from the regular Riddle School series. I think everything around here that you can click on is the same as has always been there, so let's move on. This fountain was something that I added like hours before releasing the game. I actually had drawn my own fountain, and I decided it would be a funny little tribute because I had realized that this fountain exists in Riddle School 1, 2, and 3. And so I literally copied this exact fountain and put it in here. And I asked John, because I thought, it being in Riddle School 2, I thought that maybe that was just him being lazy. And maybe by Riddle School 3, it had become like a little bit of an inside joke that he wanted to carry on. And he said, nope, just laziness. But then it reappeared in Riddle Transfer 2, which I wasn't expecting. So that's really funny that this water fountain, this exact water fountain, has appeared in so many games. I think I added this clock. I don't remember. I'm not sure if this clock is broken or if time is actually moving slower in this school. And so right by the fountain, here's this locker, the only unlocked locker. You can open it up, you can snag the hall pass from in there. Let's go check out Miss Coffee's room. So I added her desk littered with coffee cups. She doesn't have her spinning like chalkboard pointer or whatever, but I made her a lot twitchier and kind of spruced up her design a little bit. The things on the chalkboard remain the same. This picture here that's normally a tree with a big JonBro written up the side there. I thought about just redrawing that, but I actually messaged John and asked him if he could draw something unique for this, and he drew me a dogfish. That's a drawing by someone named JonBro. It's probably the nicest thing in this entire school. Which is my little compliment to him for giving me this snazzy piece of artwork here. Zach says he saw a clown hiding in that hole, but I don't believe him. This is actually a reference to One Night at Flumpty's, which JonBro made, where there's a clown that slowly creeps out of the wall at you. And so I made my own little additions to the design of all these characters too. I thought, why not? Smiley now has hair, which after replaying through the series I realized maybe kind of messes up the canon of, in Riddle Transfer where she gets the hair spray can or whatever, but that's my mistake. I gave Fred a striped shirt, and the two different stripes from it are actually are colors of two of the shirts that he's worn at other points in the series. I gave Zach a hood up because I just wanted him to be a little bit different from all the other bald characters. I just didn't want there to be 4 bald children. So Zach is technically bald, but I wanted a little something more going on up there. Let me grab the feather duster, hidden in the trash can, same as usual. Moving on to the janitor's closet. Actually, another thing I should say is that all this, like, the cracks in the walls and the scum and the water on the floor and all that stuff is because when JonBro played this game, he said he felt that my Riddle School was too nice, not really something you might want to escape from, so I wanted to grime it up a little bit. So if you try to do anything here, what are you doing here? Get out of my closet, and he boots you out. So you gotta go in there, give him the feather duster. You found my feather duster. You're a real lifesaver. I've been looking all over the school for this. The birds on the playground need dusting. Here's $1, kid. Don't waste it on socks. This gross spill, that's straight from the old games. You don't want to know what happened there. I thought about making up my own dialogue for that about maybe what did happen there, but I just left it. I actually debated for quite a while whether or not I was going to make it an option to go into the women's bathroom and add a little extra puzzle element there, but John had specifically not included the women's washroom in any other game, so I thought I'd leave that out. But if you go into the men's room, there's the regular graffitied stall here that has 5 was not here, orange are my favorite color. But then I added a few little things of my own. Here's a really awful looking 2 left thumbs symbol for the channel here. Here's my goat character, which actually appears in Riddle Transfer 1. And this little guy is actually a character from Pirate Launch, and it says PL2, because I wanted it to look a little bit like PLO, but also hint at the fact that someday I might make Pirate Launch 2, which I've thought of many times, it's just never happened yet. In the original game, John drew a really crappy looking sink, and there's a joke in it about how it just looks terrible, and so I wanted to make an intentionally crappy looking sink, and I decided what would be even funnier is to make an optical illusion sink that doesn't make sense. The water is coming out of the parts that you wouldn't expect, and it fills this weird angle and everything. This abstract sink comes from Penrose Inc., which is a Penrose stairs thing, and I thought about making it Penrose Sinks, that would be the company, but I thought that might be a little too obscure of a reference. I've never figured out how to use it. I usually wash up in the fountain outside. And hidden in the little corner here, sparkling now and again, is a shiny ring. What a precious looking ring. Obviously, Lord of the Rings reference. Come on guys, you know this. You can see on the ring, it's a little bit upside down right now, on purpose. if you rotate it 180 degrees, it's like this little bit of a U, and then actually you'll see later when you flip it around, it's actually the J from JonBro's logo. It's never explained in the game, it just is like a random symbol. So, hey Phil, it's me, Richie, I'm a hall monitor now. I think I changed it from hall guard to hall monitor, because even though I never had hall monitors in my school, I think in Canada they're called hall monitors. Do you have your hall pass? I can't let you pass without one. I also gave him a little sash here. So you go back. You used to be a lot nicer, Richie. Here's my pass, now get out of my way. Ooh, give me a cookie. You can see on Chubb here, it was actually a friend of mine who I showed this game who thought that the feed me written on Chubb's stomach was ketchup, and I thought that was too funny, so I actually included a little ketchup bottle here, and it's kind of all stained and stuff as if he wrote that on himself. And I think John actually said that he was a fan of that too, he thought that was clever, but I unfortunately can't even take credit for that one. And so heading forward to the cafeteria, all this stuff is still, it's carrying on from the original game. I had a lot of fun drawing the cafeteria. Normally there's the blueprint here in the center of the room, but instead I took a picture that is the original room from the original game, and within that you can see the original blueprint. So you can actually click on both of those. This picture is dated 2006 when the original game came out. I don't think this place has been cleaned in a decade. And within this picture you can click on the blueprint. You can see an old diagram of the cafeteria, probably to remind us what it looked like when it was clean, and that's the original dialogue from the original game. And you can see the wet aid and the infamous smiley smudge and all that still carries over. I did add one little thing. Fred stomped a yogurt package over there. That was months ago. Gross. I don't know, I had to add at least one new stain. I rotated the cookie machine so I could have a little bit of fun drawing the logo on the side here, make it look a little bit more like an official thing, but it's still spelt incorrectly like it was in the original. The cafeteria counter. This is where they serve my favorites, like green mush, orange smush, and brown discs. Ugh, I hate those brown discs. I wrote the dialogue after drawing the picture, so you can see that's just I was just kind of going by whatever the heck it was that I drew there. So you can talk to Greg. That's Greg, the least hungry and most well-rested kid in school. But what you actually need to do here is give him the dollar. In the original game, you give the dollar to Chubb, and he gets out of the way. But it kind of sucks, because it turns out in Riddle Transfer 2, John made a whole thing about like the significance of giving the dollar to Chubb, and so in my version of this, it kind of goes against that, which is too bad. But whatever, we'll just treat this like it's its own standalone thing, I guess. It's not, like I said, not canon with the original series. So you give this dollar. Hey Greg, wake up, I could use a hand. What? Is that you, Phil? I have some cash with your name on it if you do me a favor. What? You wrote my name on it? Isn't it worth less now? Look, I don't have a lot of time. Do you want the money or not? It depends. Do I need to get up? All I need you to do is cry until someone comes to check on you. Sounds easy enough. You've got a deal. Wah, boo-hoo. Sobbing sound. I'm crying. And then it just repeats. So you leave the cafeteria and the intercom comes on here. Attention all available staff. There's some brat crying, student crying in the cafeteria. Usually she doesn't catch those slip-ups. I'm currently barricaded in the office by some kind of yellow boulder. Will someone from the teacher's lounge please handle this? This might be my only chance. I'd better act fast. So when you go back, you can see the teacher run by. I actually looked at a bunch of teachers from other games to try and think of who I should include, like which teacher I should make run by. I realized all the teachers in like 2, 3, 4, all that are from different schools. And so I had already used my limited set of Riddle Elementary teachers, so I basically just had to make up my own. So that's an original character, I guess. He's nameless. You guys can name him, I don't care. This better be quick, my ham sandwich is gonna get cold. So now you gain access to the teacher's lounge, an entirely new area. So it's pretty craptacular in here. Not a very nice place. There's there's a stress relief poster, wanted, poster ripper. I thought that was a funny joke, but you can hardly actually read it. There's a little frowny face. Is this marker permanent? Whoops. I think I've mentioned this several times in my playthrough of this series. I like hiding dumb little stuff like that written in the background. So there's the suspicious brick. TV has taught me that this different colored brick should act as a secret switch. Nice Canadian spelling of colored there. But here it seems like they ran out of real bricks and started using tissue boxes. Actually, you need the ring for this room, so you can see upside down it's a little U, and then reverse that and it's the little J from John's name. So here's the ring slot where you put the ring in. Whoa, the ring I found fits perfectly into this slot. So you open a secret passage, you head in there. This is more like what I expected. To think I've been kicking a cabbage around at recess because they can't afford a soccer ball. Hence, there's not a lot to click around in this room. Comfy chair. These look so comfy. No wonder I can never find any of the teachers outside of class. Flying pig head, which I think first appeared in Riddle School 3 and then 5 and then Riddle Transfer. There's randomly just a flying pig now and again, and so I wanted to make a little reference to that. The flying pig is our school's mascot. Too bad we don't have any sports teams, or even a gym for that matter. As I was writing that line, I just thought about the fact they don't have a gymnasium. And one of the things I thought about adding to this game was a gymnasium, but I couldn't think of a puzzle that would fit in there or anything, so I scrapped it. So, rather than giving Chubb $1, you want to give him a cookie. Darn, this cookie box is empty. But there's a little cookie behind the chair here, a nice floor cookie. I once saw Chubb eat from the trash. I'm sure he won't mind a floor cookie. So now we can leave, head on over to Chubb. Ooh, give me a cookie. Here you go, man. Take the cookie, fatty. I added a little screen shake there when he dives. And now you can enter the office, which I did away with the box office thing. That joke never really resonated well with me, which is too bad because JonBro brings it back in Riddle Transfer 2. But whatever, this is my game. I didn't really feel like drawing a box office. It didn't seem like it would be very fun to draw. What are you doing here? And I was kind of running low on time, so I didn't have an opportunity to add any dialogue of my own to this interaction here. It's all directly from the original game, so I'll just go straight for it. I need to talk to the principal. Why is that? I want to tell him a joke, just like the original. Oh, jokes are always fun. Go right on in. Oh, principal, it always looks like question or whatever. Apparently it's supposed to be pronounced question. I asked John that. So I redid that cutscene basically exactly the same as it was in the original. The one thing that I did change actually, which I'll replay it here for you guys, is that you see Phil kind of exit the room before the principal flips his desk over, because that was always confusing for me. I thought he kicked Phil out of the room or something. So I clarified that a little bit, but otherwise it's identical. That was a close call. I'd better hurry out of here. So off we go. And you cruise right on to the exit here, and out we go. And I just redrew this in the style of the new remake here. I added this, which is a reference to Riddle Transfer 1, which is the time-stopping device which puts all these events into place. And I also added this one more little reference to tie things together. This would be Diz. Sir, a student has escaped from Riddle Elementary School. And Viz, excellent. Initiate Project Vision. At once, sir. So there's not a lot to it, but it was just my little way of tying it all back together. Putting a nice little bow on it, as it were. And that's the end of it. There's not a lot more to it than the original game, but you guys can go play it and click around if you like. Ask me any questions. There might be some things I forgot to address here, so please feel free to ask me some questions below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the 10 years of Riddle School, same as I have. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you all again soon.